Visions of Greatness is more than a show. It's a journey into the minds and moments that redefine what's possible. I'm Ira Joe Fisher, and this is Visions of Greatness.
Thanks, Ira Joe. Welcome to another show of Visions of Greatness. And we have a great guest today. I have a connection to this guy from 10, 15, who knows how many years ago. But just an interesting and funny comic, really funny, universal appeal. But it's interesting why he has that universal appeal. He grew up in an all-black neighborhood. He went to an all-Mexican high school. He went to an all-white church, and he did all his shopping in Asian stores. Now you understand why he has universal appeal.
Yeah, it sounds like a very very hilarious and sort of cultured person who I'm sure we're going to get into a lot of great stuff. But I know also he's been on everything. He's been on the Late Show. He's been on Craig Ferguson, ABC, HBO, Comedy Showcase, NBC Friday Nights, and BET's Comic View. I'm literally reading the list here because I can't remember it because he's been on literally everything.
Exactly. Not to mention that he was chosen the best of the fest comic at HBO's prestigious U.S. Comedy and Arts Festival in Aspen, Colorado.
Yeah, it's and the way he's doing it is the way you do it, man. He's touring with all the greats. He's opening for Jamie Foxx and George Lopez, and just getting exposed to a whole great big audience. So I think enough of us. Should we bring him on? Should we get to it?
Okay. Yeah, let's make sure they know his name right now. Here we
Ladies
go.
and gentlemen.
Ready?
Yep.
Ruben Paul.
Well, first of all, I'm excited to say that my BFF is here. Ruben Paul, one of the funniest comedians I've ever seen, and even better than that, a great person, and that's really important.
That's a good. First of all, I thought I was your BFF. Are you cheating on me?
Oh no, we have a long history. You have nothing.
We have a long history. Me and ET go way back. We go way back.
Long history.
How do you guys? Yeah, how do you? What's the connection?
The connection is Los Angeles, and my daughter. We were all friends, and unfortunately, Ruben got to meet me. I said unfortunately, and it was love at first sight.
Yeah. His daughter Lori is a very good friend of mine, and I cherish our friendship. And then I got a chance to meet DT, is what I call him, my BFF, DT.
All right, you ready for now? Let's get the drum roll. Here we go. If you could switch places with another person, who would you switch places with?
You know, when I got the questions previously, that some of these questions were really tough for me. 'Cause I spend so much time trying to be grateful for where I am, and you know, not wanting to switch places with anybody, just having gratitude for what I've accomplished and where I am in my life. But to entertain the question for fun, I would say Shohei Ohtani, and the reason is because he's nothing we've ever seen before, and literally, it's like every game, he's making history. It seems like at least every year he's making history, and I just wonder what it would be like to have that level of greatness. Like he's doing things like we've never seen in the history of baseball.
Great.
So what is it? I would just wonder what would it be like to be that guy that every time you step out, like you're rewriting history.
I mean, the thing is, if you think about it, though, if you asked him, and how hard, what do you think about walking into a giant room, a concert hall of complete strangers who don't really know you or may know you, and your goal is to make them all laugh? Like that to me is believable. Like we've all got our different things, so I would bet like it's the same sort of thing. Like how is that something that's just born in comedians? Because it's just the scariest thing I could ever even think of. Just everyone's just
Yeah, I think for me, uh, you feel like you have something you want to say, and uh, growing up, um, humor was a defense mechanism for me, and once I started doing, once I started getting into like acting and just even thinking that stand up could be a possibility, it's not something that I even think about. I don't think most comedians go, oh man, there's a bunch of people out there is just, you know, the knack to go out there and entertain and say what we have to say, and hopefully the audience enjoys it. But you go in knowing that everybody's not going to like everything that you do, and that's fine. And I think that's what makes life interesting. I don't expect to show up to a show. I mean, I expect to make everybody laugh. Of course, that's the goal. But at the same time, if somebody doesn't like me, that's not going to change. I'm not going to quit comedy because somebody doesn't like me or a group of people don't like me. I think we're all trying to find our audience.
Oh,
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I,
But the
I
Shohei
still think
thing, but to get back to the Shohei whole thing, of it was like, I go to a lot of Dodger games, and um, it's just fascinating to me that even the great, like he's so great that the greatest players in the game revere him. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's
because we all universally recognizing that we're watching something special. I would have said maybe LeBron James, but um, he gets too much hate, so I wouldn't want to. I don't need to
yeah.
participate in that. But Shohei seems to be like universally loved because we're all crystal clear that we're seeing something that we've never seen before.
amazing.
That's a good
Amazing.
point. You want me to ask this next question?
Yeah, you go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready. Here we go. In any interviews you've ever had, has anybody asked you the question, or is there a question you wish somebody would have asked you, but they never did ask you?
Um, Short answer to that is no, and that's another question that I thought hard about. I wish there's something that somebody would have told me, maybe not a question that I was asked. And I had this conversation with a friend of mine not too long ago. I wish growing up, whether it was my parent or a teacher or a mentor, I wish they would have told me that you can work hard, you can do everything right, and things still not go your way. And I think sometimes we are under illusion that we can do everything. If you work hard, you can, and it's not saying you can't achieve your goals and your dreams. You absolutely can. But there's more to just hard work and dedication to achieving your goal. It's timing, you know, being at the right place at the right time. There's so many other factors that go into someone being successful or something being great that has nothing to do, like you have zero control over it.
There's luck.
And
Like there is a luck factor that I hate to say.
Well, luck is a big factor.
But they
Yeah.
always say, but working hard and getting out there, being out there, increases your chance of having luck. But you still might
yeah,
not. Like there's no guarantee.
and in the topic of greatness, what this podcast is about is when you're doing everything within your power, right? And you still haven't achieved, that objective, feelings of failure, can start to sink in. Like, man, I've done this, I've done that, and why isn't this happening? A plus B equals C, 1+1 = 2. I'm doing everything, and like you said, there's luck and there's all these other factors that goes into it. The actor Anthony Mackie, who played, uh, he was in the new Captain America movie. His career's taken off, and he was just very transparent when he was saying that luck had a lot to do with his success. Yeah, he did the work. Yeah, he's a good actor, but then there's sometimes it's like somebody just sees you and likes you and gives you an opportunity. It has nothing to do with anything else but that.
Yeah, totally.
I've even had jobs, where it was a particular TV show that I had auditioned for, and I knocked it out of the park every step of the way and didn't get the job, and was very disappointed. And years later, I'm at this at this bar, and a guy comes up to me and goes, "Hey." He goes, "You Ruben Paul?" I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "I'm such and such." He was one of the producers of the show. He goes, "Hey, man, I just wanted to tell you, you came in and read for this part a couple years back." And I was like, "Oh, yeah." And he goes, "I just wanted you to know that you were everybody's choice except one person's."
Ah,
And he goes, I just want you to know it was nothing that you did. It was nothing that you did. And in that moment, you know, it lifted a little bit of a weight off of me because, again, you're questioning your choices and did I do something wrong? And it was just a simple, it was, a political move or a business move that they made that had nothing to do with my talent, but everything to do with something else that I couldn't control.
yeah, I mean, like that one person could have just been having a bad day on that day at that time at that moment, and it
Yeah.
just. But that's really nice to hear, though. That to hear that afterwards, because a lot of people, we don't hear that. You just walk out of a room for whatever. It could be an art class. It could be auditioning, and you don't get that
Hmm.
feedback. It's just like either yes or no.
Yeah,
I want to talk
absolutely.
about role models. Who was your role model growing up, and why?
Oh, I would say my parents for the most part, even though their lives don't reflect anything that I'm doing per se. It's not like, oh, I followed in my dad's footsteps, but just the work ethic that they had. My parents were immigrants from Haiti who went straight from Haiti to Los Angeles, and they came from a very impoverished upbringing. And to see that the life that they made for me and my siblings was pretty extraordinary, and I didn't appreciate it when I was younger, but as I got older, I realized the example that they set, getting up every morning, working hard, not making excuses. And it's hard for you to complain um, when you see the environment, your parents have come from. It's not much complaining I can do. We all hear the old jokes. So when I was a kid, I used to walk 32 miles in the snow and, all these things. And you know, uh, my parents had video evidence of
Wait, are you saying
of
there's
what
snow
they
in
went
Los
through.
Angeles?
No,
Yeah,
no,
Never mind.
but
Never mind.
but if you let them tell it, it probably was.
the only time there was ever snow in Los Angeles when we were
Yes, it's
growing
when
up.
they exactly when they were growing up.
Yeah. Hey, I was buying your story until you hit the snow part. I don't know. But all right, here's a question. What is your all-time pet peeve?
um, not keeping your word.
Mm,
When
good
somebody
one.
offers you something and doesn't follow through. Now it'll be different, and I mean you should keep your word regardless. But it'd be different if I said, "Hey Brian, can you do X, Y, and Z?" And then you don't come through, then to me it's like, all right, I asked you something, maybe you didn't feel like doing it, or maybe you couldn't do it and you were afraid to tell me or whatever excuse. But when somebody comes to me and goes, "Hey Ruben, I'm going to put you in a movie or I'm going to hire you to do this," I'm like totally unsolicited. When somebody offers me something totally unsolicited and then they don't do it, it drives me crazy. It's like, why waste my time?
I don't,
Why?
yeah, I don't trust. I really, I'm very trustful. I don't trust when someone offers that or anything like that until it happens. Like, yes,
Yeah.
I've heard the same thing with different industries, different whatever. Hey, we want this, we want this. And then you just don't hear from the person or whatever. And it's like, well, why even bring it up if it's not a slam dunk? Like, yeah.
And then and
Isn't that
and
prevalent in the entertainment industry? Not that it isn't
it
present.
is. It,
Yeah.
it is, and it's very hurtful. And the thing that's so hurtful is, you know, there's a small, like, if you look at the unions of all the members of the union, I think, don't quote me on this, but let's just say out of all the actors that are in SAG-AFTRA, there's only maybe 7% or some crazy number that work consistently. So when somebody comes up to you and says, I'm going to put you in a movie or I'm going to do this, that's a big deal. It can be life changing in this industry.
Mhm.
It could be, and these opportunities can literally change your life. So when somebody offers you something like that, it's hard not to get excited and go, call your friends and go, this might be my big break. This could be the thing that I was looking for. And then they just go radio silent and it's going, well, I didn't solicit this. I didn't ask you for any of this. You came to me and go, hey, I think you're great. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So a lot of times, like Brian said, I've just adopted it. I'm not a pessimist. I'm an internal optimist, but I've had to infuse, I'll see it when I believe it,
You're a realist.
Yeah.
When I see that check clear, then I know it's real. Then I know it has cleared and I've made money or I've got something. I know.
Even better.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you do like in your spare time? And most are at night, I assume. So
I know he goes to every baseball game and football game. The Raiders in particular.
Yes, absolutely. Sports is my escape. It's what I enjoy to do. It's one of those things where I can shut my brain off and just cheer and scream for my favorite team. And I'm usually with a buddy, so I'm not thinking about any problems. I'm not thinking about anything else that's going on in the world, but what's right in front of me and enjoying time with my friends. I grew up a huge sports fan, and when I was a kid, we couldn't afford to go to games. And I remember one specific time I remember watching the World Series in '88 when the Dodgers beat the A's, and that team was considered the worst team to ever win the World Series. We had the great Oral Hershiser, who had a historic year.
Yep.
And I remember when Kirk Gibson hit that home run, and I was a kid, and I remember looking at that going, man, would love to. I mean, what would it felt like to be in that stadium with that walk-off home run, and the place was just electric, man. And years later, I've been to multiple World Series games, something that I never thought I would be able to do. So I'm just so grateful, and I take none of it for granted. I have great seats, for my Raiders. I have season tickets for the Raiders. Like DT said, I go to a lot of Dodger games. So sporting events is one thing, and it goes back to what this podcast is. You get to see greatness right in front of you. You get to see the best athletes in the world who are the best at what they do. It's perform. It's awesome.
That's why even I always love to say, like, if you don't like baseball, totally fine. Like, I'm a big baseball fan. Sadly, I'm a suffering Mets fan, but through thick and thin. So,
I'm a not suffering Yankee fan.
and thank God I'm not a suffering Dodger fan right now. I'm a gloating Dodger fan.
Yeah. Listen, baseball is up and down. It's one season to the next. But I just remember that first experience of my dad taking me to a baseball game, and that walking. This was in Shea Stadium years ago, like a million years ago. But walking up the ramp and then seeing this bright green grass and these, like you say, world-class athletes who have come so far to get where they are. Like, people don't realize my son's a pitcher. He's a pitcher in college. And all the years of Little League, all the stuff that gets you. Well, the same thing with you. Whatever career we are, nobody sees that work and all the sadness and letdowns. And so that to me was just such like a moment of greatness.
And then when you watch baseball, one of the reasons why I love baseball, and I figured this out early because, growing up, baseball and football were my two sports that I excelled at. And baseball is a sport that if you succeed 30% of the time, you're the best in the world.
Hall of Fame.
You're Hall of Fame. All you have to do is succeed 30. What else in life? You can't come to your parents and go, hey, I got 30% on my test. You're not going outside anymore.
Yep. Yep.
You know, and that's fascinating to me, man, to just see these players. And I just love going, so when you ask me what I like to do on with my spare time, if I can, I love going to sport. And it's inspiring to me. Like I get inspired, to work harder and be better because I want to be in the upper echelon of my career. I want to be one day, an all-star in comedy. You know what I mean? I want to be an all-pro, whatever that is. So when you see people excelling and understand that there's only a small percentage of people on this planet that can do what they do, or a small percentage of people on the planet that can do what I do, there's a sense of pride in that.
Great answer. Here's another one, which kind of dovetails what we are just talking about. Sort of swings the pendulum a different way. If you could have achieved success in a different field or different line of work, what would it have been? I know, play for the Dodgers. There you go.
Yeah, it's just, it's like Brian said, most people don't understand the hours and the dedication and the hard work. And like I said before, you can work hard and still not achieve your goals and your dreams, but to see in real time people that have worked hard and they are accomplishing the things that they set out, man, it's inspirational, man. It really, it makes you believe that, if you stay committed, you stay consistent, and you do the work, good things will happen eventually if you don't quit.
Yeah, boy. Well, speaking of that, and kind of growing up and following your path and your passion, is there anything in your just in your from when you were born until now that if you could do over, that you would?
Um, Again, I try to stay in a place with no regrets.
Yep.
But I had a conversation recently with a friend of mine. I wish I would have pursued right the writing side of the entertainment business earlier than what I did. When I started stand up, there was this I don't know if I want to call it a myth, but there was just this sentiment that if as a comedian, if I became like a writer on a sitcom, and because I got offered writing jobs early on, but they made it seem like you had to make a choice. Like, hey, either you're going to be a stand-up or you're going to be a writer. Because a lot of writers who used to do stand-up, once they got writing jobs, they were making so much money and their schedules are so crazy. What's the motivation to go do a stand-up set at midnight for $200 when you're making 15 grand a week writing on a show?
Yeah.
But I wish somebody would have came up to me and go, hey, Ruben, you can do both. It's literally up to you. And really explain to me the advantages of writing. The advantages of being in a writer's room and writing on a show is the relationships. You're literally working with the people that are doing the things that you eventually want to do. Now you might be behind the camera when you want to be in front of the camera, but for instance, if all three of us were writing on a show together for 3 years, and then I go, hey, Brian, I got an idea if I want to go. You go, sure, hell yeah, Ruben. What do you want to? Yeah, let's talk about it. You don't realize the relationships that you build behind the scene that can service what you're trying to do in front of the camera. And I wish somebody would have told me, especially now. It's easier because now it's important you can write your destiny. As a performer. Like I don't have to wait to be casted in anything anymore. Is that still an avenue I can take? Absolutely. But I can literally sit down and write a show and create a show and either go out and get it done or sell it and achieve my goals. And Larry David is just one example of somebody who was a writer, who jokingly has a face for radio, who became, a huge star, um, and he came from the writer's room.
Same with Conan O'Brien.
Same with Conan, yeah. Exactly. But I was given horrible advice, early on. Horrible advice. Horrible.
Wow. Yeah.
Hey, listen, in your vast experience, many years, do you ever experience anything where you saw something? I'm sure you've seen this a million times, but where you said to yourself, "You can't make this stuff up." Has that ever hit you?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, to be uh, perfectly frank, the life that we're living right now, what's going on in the world right now, sometimes you go, you can't make this up. You go,
That's a
wait,
good
wait,
one.
wait a minute. He sued the IRS and he's negotiating with himself. And like, you can't, is this idiocracy? Like, what are
Perfect.
we living right now? Like, literally, it's some of the things that are happening and it's happening in front of our faces in an evolved country that's supposed to be, a full-on democracy. So to see the things that are happening in a country that we've grown up in, and we all recognize things have vastly changed. It's mind-boggling sometimes the things that you hear, and you got to research it because you can't believe, like, no way he did that. That's impossible.
That's
Wait,
AI.
wait.
Come on.
It's AI. No way he would say that. Presidents don't talk like that. What are you
Yeah,
talking about?
yeah.
So
That's the best answer we've had on the several interviews.
because
Excellent.
to be honest
Go
with you
ahead,
guys,
Brian. You got one?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was just gonna say, well, we're kind of. Oops, sorry. Was that?
okay, I think we're back.
Okay. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
I can cut that out.
yeah,
You know, you had me thinking, like about trying to achieve what you want to achieve in life, and you get turned down, and sometimes you just never make it. You just don't. But to me, if you're still trying, as long as you're still trying, you've achieved greatness because you are not giving up, even if you don't
yeah.
become a world class pitcher or
hmm
leading the world or whatever it is. To me, like that, and that's an important thing to me. But to you, what does greatness mean to you?
Um, I think you said it well. I think I had to grow and evolve to what you just said. I think there's a great comedian. I don't know if you guys are aware of him. His name is Dom Herrera,
Yes.
and
I know he is. Yeah.
yeah, and Dom has been a mentor over the years, and I was doing his podcast. And after the podcast, he's like, "Let's go get something to eat." And we're just talking on the drive, and he just matter of factly goes, "Well, Ruben, like, you're a successful comedian, and blah 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 blah." And I guess the expression of my face changed, and we're at a red light, and he goes, "You don't think you're successful?" I go, "Well, there's just some goals. There's some things I thought I'd be a little further along by this point in my career, and I thought I'd do." I started naming. He goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." He goes, "Do you have like another job or something that you do?" And I go, "No." And he goes, "You make a living doing stand-up comedy?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "And you don't think you're successful?" He goes, "You're respected by your peers." He just started naming these things down, and I began to be embarrassed by not being grateful for what I have achieved. Like, it's still okay to still have goals and aspirations and things to shoot for, but to be able to set out to do this as a living, to make people laugh, and to do it at a level where I am respected by my peers. And people come to me, to help them, big name celebrities come to me, comedians come to me to help them put their comedy specials together, et cetera, et cetera. That I had to change my mindset and understand that I'm great at what I do. And I have achieved a level of greatness and hoping to achieve even more down the line. But greatness to me means following your path, staying committed, and doing it to the best of your ability. As long as I'm not cheating myself and the audience, then that's greatness.
Yep. By the way, you mentioned putting specials together. Can you tell me quickly about this Netflix thing you're doing? It sounds interesting.
There's nothing that I'm doing on Netflix currently, um, but I'm doing a project right now that I'm working on with George Lopez and comedian Godfrey. that's based on a character that Richard Pryor created years ago, called Mudbone. I don't know if you're familiar with Richard Pryor's
Mudbone,
iconic
yeah.
I'm not.
Mudbone
I'm not.
character.
I need to.
If you Google it, you can hear it. It's. I think he only did a recording of it twice, maybe, but it was kind of woven into it, and it's literally he transforms into this character, this old. Some people think he evolved from his wino character, but just like the old guy in the neighborhood that uh, gives unsolicited advice, and it's a real funny character. But his wife Jennifer Pryor, my writing partner Matt Clay Brooks, and Heartbeat Entertainment, Kevin Hart's company. We've all come together to create an animated version of Mudbone that we created together. Yeah.
Amazing.
So that's that's really exciting.
That let me tell you that's why you're my BFF. Simple as that.
I appreciate you, DT. I really do.
I appreciate you too.
And
we both appreciate this interview. You were phenomenal.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be here with you, and anytime you need me and I'm available, you got me, BFF. You know that.
You got it, BFF. All right.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Okay, Rube.